Hey everybody,
Hey, I'm Jordan.
and I am Shane. Happy to have Jordan here. Lex is out. It is his birthday, so he's on his sailboat somewhere, and we wish him well.
We would like it if you still watched this webcast even without Lex here.
Actually, there's a good chance that we're going to get more people now. See, Lex is more of what we call more of a disincentive. Anyway, welcome. We're going to be talking about Deploy 18, and let's just go ahead and kick into it. How's that sound?
Okay, yeah, I guess let's start with what's been added to it, and then we'll go into, I guess, the underlying changes.
Young man,
all right.
It's all you. This is your game. This is still in beta. Hopefully not for very long, but it is a fairly stable beta.
Yes, it is. We have high hopes that soon for the release. I don't want to give actual dates.
So no doubt.
So the first thing we made is realize not everyone was going to want the auto download to be on default when they're downloading packages. They might want.
Yeah, that's been it came out as, hey, I like the auto download when I want it, but for the most part, I'd like to turn that off.
Yeah. So just right here under the auto downloads page, we have the enable auto downloads.
Mm-hmm.
If that's unchecked, the default install is just going to be the basic install, not the auto download. Mm-hmm. But you can still, if that's unchecked, you can come in and right click and you can select what type you want. So if you still need an auto download,
yeah, it's the old way was that we had changed was it would automatically come as an auto download unless you specifically said don't do that, or you converted it to a standard package. Okay. And here you can turn this. Basically, this is turning off the default. But you can still grab an auto download. And really quick, what's the difference between an auto download and a standard?
So standard, it's up to you to update when the new software's out there. With auto download, based on a schedule you set, it'll update that one for you. So if it's on a schedule, it'll keep your software up to date.
And let's go ahead and circle those three icons right there so we can see the middle. Those of you who've been around for a while, that middle icon, that's always been our package. Icon. If you see that is a standard PDQ package versus the one with the arrow that goes up.
And once
the auto.
Once it's turned off, then the download button now also has the new icon.
Good deal.
And the important thing for that one, if you make that switch, it's not going to convert your existing auto download once to standard. It is going to keep what you have.
Just from this point forward.
That point forward, and you can still choose which one. It just gives you more, I guess, customization for your needs.
Good deal.
That's good. All right, no looking at thing. The other one is with the inventory, we added prioritized scanning. Mm-hmm. So we figured we'd probably want to add some prioritize for deployments.
Yeah. So let's take. I like that package of lesser importance. All of a sudden we're in Princess Bride or something like that. The rodents of unusual size. Okay.
Quite proper and posh, yes.
Right. I just noticed that. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and show this.
All right, so I do have our settings set to 5 total packages to be deployed and 4 concurrent. Keep your settings higher than that, or you're
doing this to make a point.
You're going to have a bad time.
You're going to have a bad time.
Oh, I guess we want to do it with specific computers. That's another change. Preview.
And we got an error. We got a bug.
Oh, that's
yay! Betas.
I just checked this. All right. Let's give it one more try. If not, we'll just do the Active Directory one.
Okay.
There we go. I don't know what happened there, but we're definitely we'll create a ticket on that.
So we're doing a deploy once. Just go ahead and grab a handful of those. Sorry, everybody. I'm coughing.
Yep. Not grab Guinness just because.
Let's not deploy to the actual machine on which we are making the demonstration.
Yep. So you have first off the biggest change on the actual deployment. You can check prioritize right there, which will set it for you. But where there's nothing going, that's.
And what does so you've got deployments going, which means you've hit your max target per deployment and you've hit the max concurrent targets. So you've got 100 computers that are queued. What does prioritize do?
Okay. So prioritize will basically say the next available connection. It will grab those ones first. So if you have a large queue, instead of having to cancel the ones you don't want, you can just prioritize the ones you do and not have to.
It was before it was first in, first out. It was the FIFO method. We're still doing the FIFO method. However, you can butt in line. So the important thing is this will only affect those targets that are in a queued state. They're in a waiting state. If the deployment has already started, then they're not going to get cut in front of. No, that deployment started.
It'll finish ones that are currently going.
Cool.
So if we...
so we did not prioritize this one, obviously.
We did not. No. So this one, it's going to start 4, just because that's the setting we have, and then you can come in and choose a 5th to...
So now we say, oh, we want to prioritize just this Dex nose, right?
Yep. And then that will connect. And that one's not going to prioritize because we have a 5 maximum, but now we've hit our maximum. So now if we come down to...
Allen Rails,
and we do prioritize.
Is that a local reference? Isn't that the yellow, like the phone book here?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Allen Rails. I was going to pull
Dex.
your Rick and Morty card.
Oh, Dex knows.
No, Dex knows.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not sure.
And I mean, it could be the Lex just misspelled his name, which is not unprecedented.
But then also assuming that he knows something.
Well, once again, you don't know what you don't know.
That's a good
so
point.
as far as we know, he's on the boat
aware.
right now, going. And they're going to see Lex knows.
Do you know?
So, and that's what you can change within that. You can also, from the top, just select the entire deployment and prioritize that deployment.
Okay.
Or now if we have a critical package we've got to send out.
Yep.
So we can just come into deploy once and...
Once again, this really is, when you've got when you look and you see that you've got a lot of computers that are queued up, and you've got somebody who's getting ready to hit the road on a business trip or something, and they're like, I need this updated right now. You can just hit the deploy and just say, make this the next in line.
Yep. And so that one I checked the box before I sent it, so it comes out there with the queued priority.
It's queued priority. Yep. Okay, so it's important though. This is a queued priority. If you do another computer right now and say run at a priority, does it go before or after that priority?
I believe we're still following the first in, first out. So the one you set priority first, I believe.
If it was like scans, I do a second one. It's going to go ahead of that one.
Oh, okay.
And someone correct me if I'm wrong. That's how we did the scans. It was just every time you set priority, it goes next in the queue. You have something, Chris?
No, I think you're right.
Okay.
All right, and now we have a question.
Dear Shane and Jordan, any big issues with a beta we should be aware of before testing? Sincerely, Christopher Guest.
Christopher Guest. Speaking of the Princess Bride, the six-fingered man.
Yes.
Of course, I like to think of Spinal Tap. Anyway, Nigel Tufnell. Hey, Guest. Well, obviously you saw a bug that we just had when we were trying to enumerate a collection. No, let's talk about that. In fact, go to will you go to the help? I want to show. Or there. There's several ways to get there. Several roads at Mount Fuji. So you go to your help. Go to the update notes. First of all, here's the things that we want to convey, right? But let's talk about some of the known issues. Yeah, there is actually. We are working and quite close to fixing a CPU issue, right?
Yes.
We did not want to hold up the entire release for this, but we are getting close to it. So those of you who've been having, do you want to really quick address that quick?
Yes, it's been a leak of sorts where they have to restart the service pretty frequently. One of our developers has been working real hard on it. We have a couple of tests on it. The fix for that is working pretty well, but it's caused some other issues that we got to get cleaned up. So we're hoping to have that major bug fixed in the near future.
But it's not going to make it for the release.
Not for the release, no.
So there's still a known issue. If those of you who have those environments where you've been seeing CPU issues, basically the CPU the CPU utilization is unnecessarily high.
Yep.
The workaround for that is still to restart the service.
Yes, and we know it's not the ideal, but we'll hopefully soon we have that.
Just the term workaround means it's not ideal, but at least there's a workaround.
All right. I guess we can go into what I actually
Is there
learned
another one?
first time.
Yeah, well, by the way, if there's another question, just get it queued up, I guess.
I mean, we could, but Kelly's right here. Or he was around the corner. we can do another one.
Okay. It's okay. Go. Whatever you guys want.
All right. Let's do.
Dear Shane and Jordan, can we create nested schedules in 18, such as one Windows update schedule instead of 40? Sincerely, Ben.
I gotta keep that up for a second. Can we create nested schedules in 18, such as one Windows Update schedule instead of 40? Oh, so you wants to group them. We got what do you got, Chris?
So we build the Windows updates so that they only install on the versions of Windows that they should. So they shouldn't be running. So there's no reason that you couldn't put all the packages in the same schedule anyways.
Because the OS version said
Yes.
The way this is written sounds like a riddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I can actually see. I can see a couple of ways actually of interpreting that question.
Yeah.
Ben. So to create a nested schedule, almost like a nested package, is what I'm thinking that he's talking about. So the sequence will hit the Windows update, and then it will hit the subsequent non-related Windows updates, or
No, I think he's got
I think he wants
various different versions of Windows in his environment, and he's just made a schedule for each one as opposed to just attaching a bunch of packages to one schedule.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. Okay, so that's where the conditions can come in.
Yeah.
You can throw multiple. In fact, do we have one? Open up that Windows 10 cumulative package right there. You can see that in these steps, there's two install steps, right? But we have conditions, and this is go to conditions. You can always set conditions. So we've seen people build their own packages where they'll have all the flavors of Windows that are represented in their environment, and one step is for this architecture, one step is for this particular OS, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they do that one package to rule them all because they know that only the appropriate step is going to be executed for whatever their target is. So if that's what you're talking about, you do that.
Yeah, so you can put as many packages you want on the schedule. It's just more about controlling within the conditions, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, here you can see, remember, package library is a great cheat sheet. So if you go ahead and highlight that or circle that up. If you're wondering, well, I've got a bunch of different flavors of Windows 10, how can I have a condition that shows that, this is version 1803? Right there, you can see that we're using a registry condition, and once again, life is an open book test. So check it out if you're ever stumped or in a bind. Look at our collection library. Look at our package library. See what we've come up with.
Okay.
I hope that answers that, Ben.
Yeah, I think it does. It
Okay.
should get him going for what he needs.
I think it's worth noting that a lot of the features in 18, honestly, we have been trying to pay back some tech debt.
Yeah.
We were throwing out so many new releases and so many new features over the years, and we didn't really do it in a scalable fashion, and so we got to a point where we were really starting to see some diminishing returns, and this is why we've had to step back and actually take care of a lot of the under the hood fixes. Mm-hmm. And some of that just comes down to having to, there's some architectural limitations that we have that we're dealing with. That's the biggest problem with Agent right now, is putting a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, the biggest changes we have are something that you're not going to see in the product. It's just something to help us in the future to build a better and better product.
So please bear with us. We do have some good features here. We have some excellent features forthcoming in subsequent releases, but you're going to see faster releases. We've got our pipeline wrapped up, and you're going to see faster releases and some great new features that are coming down. But we really have had to tackle this in the last year. A lot of technical debt. So.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. All right, so I guess the next thing we added is something I showcased early.
Okay.
It used to be when it came to, that's not what I wanted to deploy once, not modify it. When it came down to selecting groups or everything, it was not quite intuitive. So now we have, like for inventory, you can choose a collection or random computers.
Yeah, so this is, you're talking about the old Link 2? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, okay. So remember, you used to have, there was a button, for those of you who aren't running the free, there's a button for Link 2, and there was choose targets. And the choose targets was this, I know the computers I want to deploy this to. Whether it was in a collection or an AD group or something, or an ADOU, an AD container, you would choose those computers. But to link meant I'm going to choose like an inventory collection or an entire Active Directory container, and it will just grab whatever's in there at that time. Great for schedules. Well, we've made that a little easier.
Yeah, so for the deploy ones, you can't really link to, but you can just select. I selected the between 5 and 8.
But you do on schedules.
Yes, on schedules, which we have.
So if we were to choose the targets, right?
Who added these machines? That's fine.
Sleeping Beauty. So here, if you look at choose targets, now you've got a collection or the computers. So before those were two separate buttons.
Yep, there's a link to our choose target. So this one you can have a static. Basically, it's a static list or whatever is currently in that existing collection.
And when you create a schedule that is a recurring schedule, every time that schedule kicks off, if you have a collection, for example, in this case, it will grab the computers in that collection at runtime when it's processing. What computer is in here now? Then it runs the next week. What computer's in here now? So beats the static. For the most part, recurring schedules, you're going to want to use collections. Honestly, that's what you're going to want to use.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's see. The other one, we did make some change to the target preferences page, where we're just trying to make it a bit more clear. Like this is one, or target surface, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to make a change on this, it's complex.
Yeah, some of you remember hearing this before. This is one of those, we kind of wish we had just made this something that you had to configure by contacting us.
Yeah.
Hardly anybody does this. Yeah. Don't change this unless you absolutely know you have to change this.
Yeah.
This is meant for those organizations that have security policies in place that prohibit you from accessing admin dollar share over the network. But you can create a new share. Once you change this, because by default we go to admin dollar, you can change this, but it's changed globally. It's not changed per target.
Right? Yeah, so we really don't recommend it, but some people insist. So I guess the biggest change we made is the warning is now more clear if you could really break some stuff.
A little bit more intuitive.
We haven't made it red yet.
See, other than that, everything outside of that is a little bit. We added a download size, right? Right there for the packages, just so if you have the on auto download, you know exactly what data you're using. So you can sort by the size. So I guess you know Windows 10 will give you at the top.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously, that will help you, especially if you're trying to figure out what to download first. That will help you right there. So.
Yep. Let's see, and then we also added the server name as a default variable. So instead of having to put that static, if you're writing your own scripts in there, you can just call the variable within the product.
And if you're noticing, we are we've kind of synced up the versions of deploy and inventory.
Yep.
So as we release deploy, we will release a corresponding inventory, and vice versa.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the goal, instead of leapfrogging. So it's that will also help us and hopefully help you avoid confusion. Hey, why am I running version 17 of this and 18 of this?
Yeah, so it's always going to be a simultaneous release, and that's part of it. Keep the common code common and try to lower any sort of integration issues.
Okay. If we have any questions, feel free to throw them down.
Dear Shane and Jordan, dark mode when? Sincerely, Darth Tyler.
I believe we have Metropolis Dark right there. So under preferences, you go to interface, there's the theme, you have default, some office, and you have Metropolis Dark.
Your lines are so, you need to calibrate your eyes and your fingers. I'm not sure if you're crossing something out, if you're highlighting.
My lines are just.
I'm not sure, and I'm right here.
The highlighted section of interface, 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got surgeon hands over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the.
Have you ever gotten a sliver out of your little daughter's hand or something? You're gonna take her arm off.
I can say she came to me once and left really quickly to get mom to do it.
No wonder.
Well done, young'un.
So and then there's the just the dark.
Yeah, hopefully, Tyler, that's the dark that you were talking about.
Maybe he wants it darker than that. I don't know.
So once again, go into your preferences and
interface,
and that's where you can change. That's where you can change your theme.
All right, and I guess one big change is the update notification for beta and release is different. Where it used to be, it would be vastly different. I mean, there would be changes, but we'd do one release for beta and then another for release. Where now, if a beta is solid, it just becomes the release. So now you can come in here and you can check automatically for the release, or if you want the beta, you get the earlier stuff, then it'll alert you from that one. But
Well, you don't necessarily get the earlier stuff. You get
It's
alerted.
alerted.
You still
Yeah, it
have
doesn't instantly download.
to. You still have to take action on that. It's not going to automatically
Yeah.
download and install for you. You'll just get a little notice.
all right, and Chris had something to say.
Yeah, it's switching to like a mainline.
Yeah,
So
mainline
like he
device.
was saying, a beta could turn into a solid release.
Yep. Yeah, and
When
that's,
is that ever going to happen?
that's more for if you are interested in betas with the change to that. If you don't go back and respecify the beta channel, it's going to keep you on release, and you'll miss the betas when they come out.
All right. Thanks. Once again, if you want to, let's go back to the update notes.
Okay.
If you go back to our main help, you can hit F1 at any point as well. Just highlight update notes, and you'll see everything that we've talked about. We have added additional information in the license window. This will help, especially when you want. Let's show them the license window real quick.
So the license has your email address in it?
I don't care.
Okay.
And
Yeah, there you go. So this is what we want to make sure. We want to make sure to show that we've broken it down in billing and technical. We have had that for years, but this just makes it a little easier, right? Because some people are saying, why am I getting this invoice, or why am I getting a quote, or where did my quote come from, or where's my licenses? Well, that you can see the email that they're going to.
so send love letters to Shane.
I don't care. I don't read them.
That's the customer engagement we're looking for.
All right.
All right. So the last change, and this one's it's to help us really catch bugs earlier in the process. Now is we have a new process for catching data, like anonymous data. It's checked by default to send anonymous.
Okay.
You can uncheck that if you don't want to. We do strip all information. It's
Yeah,
just
we anonymize it.
Yep.
So this is really going to help all. This is going to help all of us. Those of you that have seen, you get a bug report, or you get a little error window, and you submit that to us. This is going to help us troubleshoot this much better. But it does anonymize it. Just keep in mind that this data that's sent back is anonymized. However, if you are cutting and pasting an error report, you might want to something here. You might want to, remove a computer name from there, for example, because you have to overtly send this to us.
Yep.
This is similar to the old way, but
Yeah, so
you
we'll
might have a target name in there that you want to
Yeah,
clear
so we'll get the anonymous and that kind of data. But if there's something specifically you want to contact us about information, then you can still put in your email address. I'm going to try to do a straight line here. Are we ready? So close.
So close. Here's where, while the email address, it really helps. It's not required. Here
It is now required because
for sending this. That's right.
yeah. So
That's right.
it didn't used to be, but now since we already get it, the anonymous version of it. If there's something you want specifically, want your email
Thank
just
you.
because we're going to be contacting you.
It
back.
would get frustrating when someone would send a support ticket because there was an error, and we knew this was not a problem with the program necessarily. This was all you have to do is change this parameter in your package, or all you have to do is. We knew the fix, but there was no email address, and we're like, wow. There's no way to communicate with them to say, hey, all you got to do is change this one thing.
They think it's us? Okay.
So that would get a little frustrating. If this person could have this solved right now.
Yep. All right. Do we have any other questions?
Dear Shane and Jordan, can the server console or admin user push down its tree layout to the console users, inventory, and deploy? Sincerely, the incredible edible Dr. Johnny D.
So on this one, it's really because each one has its own admin doing their own thing. So we didn't want to force one tree view. We wanted to give the admins the control.
We kind of went back and forth on this. I think when Central Server eventually came out, the Central Server did decide the layout, and there was a lot.
A lot of people saying, I don't like that. I want my own view.
Exactly.
So
they will see the same collections and packages. They just may be in different orders.
Or you might, some people might create a header or something out of a particular collection that you use a
Exactly.
lot. If you haven't done that before, just as an example, I can say collapse the collection library. Let's say that I just want to always look at online systems. I'm going to go ahead on the view here, go to item appearance, and just say display this as a section header, and then it's always kind of highlighted, easy to find. But that is not per server. That's per admin.
Yeah. So I think initially we had the server decide, but it really was customer input that drove that one.
Sorry.
Yep. Sorry.
I guess no.
All right. I guess we want to talk more about the new pipeline. I guess we talked about how it's simultaneous release now, both products at once, and then just it's now mainline development where it should be a much smoother transition. Like
Cool.
we're hoping that you'll see products much faster. But
That's the goal / mandate.
yeah, faster / more solid,
More gooder.
more gooder.
Do we have any more questions in the queue?
Dear Shane and Jordan, can I call a script from a computer that initiates a deployment? Thanks, Ian W.
Yes, but that script is going to have to be written in such a way as to do a callback to your server to initiate those command line commands. So it's you're doing a bunch of extra steps. The first use case I can think of is, well, you're already there. You may as well initiate it.
I think Jordan's showing the thing I was going to suggest. Some people may not even know there is a CLI.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the. Do I need to adjust that at all, or? Okay. So there is a CLI where if you want to deploy, you can use our command line and just call it from there, as long as the person running the command is a console user on the server.
And the commands have to be run on the server.
On the server, yeah.
By the way, there is the usage statement. So if you were to say PDQ deploy and then look at hit deploy, so PDQ deploy, then deploy, and just hit enter, it's going to give you some parameters. It's going to give you a usage statement, so that this is, for those of you who are used to the Unix and Linux world, this is kind of like man in a way. This will just tell you, here's the parameters that you need to carry this out. Show them once again how to get there. How did you get to that?
So just in the command prompt, it becomes part of the known variable. So it's just PDQ deploy or inventory.
But if there's also a way you can do this if you want. Just
from the product.
Yeah, all you got to do is open an elevated command prompt or open an elevated PowerShell prompt. This one will actually take you to that particular directory. In this case, you're doing this from inventory, so it takes you to the inventory directory. But if it's in your path variable, you should be good anyway. Any other questions?
Dear Shane and Jordan, do you have any docs on how to configure PDQ with Microsoft Direct Access? Sincerely, Barry White.
Barry Duff.
Just going ahead.
Yeah, you gotta read that a little bit more centrally than if you're gonna
I'll
use
just
Barry.
drink right now.
If you're gonna drop Barry White, no, not that I know of. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think it's very well tested. I know that it is possible because there are people on the forums that have done it. So.
Yeah, I guess if someone in the forums have done it, you can probably head to our forum and ask the question. You'll probably get some help on that one.
The big thing is the products rely on DNS, so if your direct access is working through your DNS, then it should be fine. But
I love how his voice goes up an octave. All of a sudden, you turn into Jay Leno. Do we have any more questions? You can say no.
Oh, no, we have a lot. Let's do a speed round. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, dear Shane and Jordan, is there a way to deploy Microsoft Store apps to target machines? We have the store blocked on their machines. Thanks, Brian.
You're going to need the manifest that the store has. So that there's the PowerShell command of git or install AppX packages that will give you the path to where the manifest is if you have one that's not blocked on. And then you're going to put the manifest and install file in a location that everyone can access it.
Yeah, because if you just call that, if you just run a package that calls that, and you've got that blocked, then you have a problem. So you've got to take that manifest and put it to a location that they can see.
Yeah, but everyone can see, and then you just have to point to it. I can't remember. One's a manifest file. I can't remember the other one. It's been a while since I've done it. But as long as you have those files yourself, you can just point people to it in the package, and it should work.
Thank you.
Dear Shane and Jordan, can we add package auditing for deploy, i.e., who changed what? Sincerely, Tricky Nicky.
That is on. That's we're aware of that request. Let's put it that way. It hasn't been decided. It hasn't been decided. This also comes down to throwing too much into something that wasn't meant for it. But no, we have received that request, and we are looking at different ways we can capture information in the future. But right now it's not available.
If it's a package you've built yourself, you can keep that. There's a private folder in the server mode that no one would have
Show
access
'em.
to.
Okay, stay down. Hurry, Joe.
Are we in
hurry,
server
hurry,
mode?
hurry,
We're not in server. Here we go.
Where's that from? Anybody get it? Hurry. Dumb and Dumber.
Ooh, things are about to get.
It's not fair. They filmed a lot of that here. You've got too much.
They didn't film that scene, and I was living in California when they did, so it's not like I have an inherent plus. I
I was
wasn't
just trying to find an excuse that wasn't my own incompetence.
I was also living in California.
No one cares about you, JJ.
Probably going to elementary school.
No, definitely no one
Especially
cares about
not.
you. No, I love you, JJ. Oh, so did you already close that? Did you already close it?
I'm just trying to.
When you set it up as a server, it does
it's
it for you.
We're not in central. Sorry.
Yeah, I had to change that.
But when you're running when you have central server, you can create a package in a private. Basically, it's private so that nobody else can see
straight
it.
line. You see how long it took him to draw that?
So yeah,
I just see the glow.
He busted the ruler out and just swiped his finger on the top of it.
All right.
Not that the barbs cut deep.
Private. Yeah, there's your private package. Okay.
So anything that's in there, I guess, and any machine, if you log in with it's tied to your credentials of that console user, not to the machine. So you should have those packages.
Yeah, if you log into another console, same account, and you see it. But please keep in mind that I understand you're probably thinking, no, I want to share this package, but I want to know who made the changes. None at this point. Okay, let's throw them down.
Dear Shane and Jordan, how can I filter out the empty columns in the reports? Thanks, Con!
I think he was hoping you would do that. Or she. Okay, how can I filter out the empty columns in my reports? I don't think you can.
So I guess if it's a completely empty column, you could remove it from the report itself.
But I think that at runtime they might have some that are empty. How can I
Yeah.
filter those out?
Yeah, I don't.
Because you choose the columns that you want ahead of time, and if they're empty, they're empty. I mean, obviously you can sort them afterwards, et cetera, but I don't think I don't have a native way to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that pipe in. Yeah.
I've tried to think about it before because I had to pick it, and then
Don't pick at it.
it seems like if they're empty, you don't put them in the report. But maybe support could help you more if we had some more details.
Okay. Well, the empty was if there's no rows returned.
Right?
Yeah.
But why do you have the column if there's so?
If there's no rows returned, and
There's
I
a
think-
lot of interpretation that can be done here, I
Okay.
think. So
Next.
Dear Shane and Jordan, would we be able in the future, when inventory detects a user logged in, will deploy some software for the user account? Thanks, Nick.
We hope so. We hope so. Please bear with us as we do some rebuilding. So
Yeah, so
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, currently the users logged on is based on your last scan data. So
Correct.
yeah, so you could create a collection that based on that, but then it's only going to update as often as you
It's not.
scan.
It's not triggered at that point.
Yeah, it's not going to.
Hopefully at some point. You want a
Dear
smoke
Shane
break
and
here?
Jordan, with the beta agent, is there or will there be a way to ignore using the agent if the agent status is internal? Thanks, Carrie O.
So right now, even if it sees internal, it may start off that way, but it's not actually sending it out to the.
Yeah, if it's internal, it actually uses the old mechanism anyway.
Yeah, so it starts off. It notices the agent is there, but it switches over to the internal once it sees internal. I guess it doesn't actually send it over to our servers.
Yeah, basically, it kind of when it's internal, it knows that there's some benefits to just treating it kind of the old way in a way. It still utilizes some of those features, but you're not making the call out to servers. So. Next.
And our final question of the day, where does this community hang out? Reddit, Discord, Slack, ICQ? Thanks, Anonymous.
I hang out at a bar.
I don't know about
That's
you.
not online.
No.
I hang out alone in the dark.
You want to come on down to Salt Lake?
Yeah. Honestly, there's
There's a couple places.
So there's a handful of places. For those of us who have access to a mic, you
Yeah.
want to say where you are, where you go?
Well, I know there's a Reddit that a user recently kind of rescued from the depths of unused. I think it's just a subreddit, I should say. It's just r/PDQ, I believe. And I think they've also, on that Reddit, have opened a Discord and a Slack.
Oh.
So, and then we have our own community forums on our website under support.pdq.com.
Do you have anything you would like to add, dear young man?
Not for that one. I'm not real active in the onlines.
Not hip to the community.
You need both. All right,
Draw
hey
a straight
everybody.
line.
All right.
Thank you very much for checking us out. Remember, this is still in beta.
Yeah.
The release should be coming soon, and we're excited. We are excited for that. Don't forget the inventory deploy are now synced up as far as version numbers.
Yeah, whenever you see an update, get both of them, and please try this one out. Even in your lab environment, we need a lot of feedback on this since it's a lot of change in the in the background.
But thank you very much, and some great features are forthcoming. Promise.
Thanks for joining our webcast today, and congratulations Barry W. and Nikki, winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. If you have additional questions, feel free to hit up our forums and reach out to our support peeps. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.